Hey, this is James Campion, the author of Shout It Out Loud, the story of Kiss's Destroyer and the making of an American icon, and you are listening to my buddies Tom and Zeus and the Shout It Out Loudcast. Rock on, boys.
That's right. We're back with another episode of Dorm Damage, the show where anything and everything is on the table and the table gets smashed. This week, we're taking a trip back to the 70s on one of our many recurring topics. Isn't that correct, Zeus? What do we got this week?
Yeah, this time we're going to do the 70s instead of the 60s, which we've already done.
Yep.
We're going to pick three bands.
Yep.
And we're going to name the top three songs of our favorite bands from a band that's most of their music you can equate to that era, the 70s. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to list our favorite three songs from that band. And then we're going to say which of these bands each has the best three songs.
Right.
And then we'll rank them. Yep. So we picked for the 70s, we're just random.
It's part one.
Yep. Aerosmith, Bad Company, and ACDC. But with the ACDC one, we're being a little bit specific because technically all Bon Scott's was in the 70s.
Correct.
So it's all Bon Scott ACDC.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is perfect because these are three of my favorite 70s bands not named Kiss or Zeppelin. And I know the same applies to you, without the Eagles and all that, which we'll eventually get to. But yeah, these are three of my favorite bands, and especially Aerosmith. I am not a fan of post 70s Aerosmith.
I know.
So this is good. And I will say these three, this was really, really for me, very difficult to pick three songs from these three bands. So, but it's always fun.
All right, Tom. All right. Why don't you start us off?
Okay.
How about Bad Company? Let's go out of order.
All right. Bad Company, one of my favorite bands of all time. Supremely underrated. Paul Rodgers, fucking incredible voice. Love these guys. All right. So just to clarify for any new listeners out there, the song doesn't have to be from the 70s. We're talking about a band who had a good chunk of their career or all of their career or a very popular part of their career from the 70s. So all three of these bands had huge careers in the 80s, in 90s, and forward. So pretty much anything's on the table here.
Yes.
But we're going to start with Bad Company. So I'm going to go in reverse order here. So number 3 for me, one of my very, very favorite songs because I love this band. It's a beautiful song that's very underrated. It should have been a bigger hit. And the irony is that it's the colors of my high school team, and that is silver, blue, and gold. Beautiful, beautiful song. Paul Rodgers is just so fantastic. And then for me, number 2, very easy, is the rarity where you have the song, the album, and the band all share the same name, Bad Company. So the title track off the self-titled album, Bad Company. And then my number 1 favorite Bad Company song, which I guess would be considered a deep cut, is Electric Land.
Really?
Yeah, one of my favorite songs. I grew up getting into Bad Company just from their greatest hits album, which was called 10 from 6. And I still listen to that. I mean, that was like one of those starter CDs that everybody got into, like, oh yeah, you got Bad Company. But yeah, those are my 3. I mean, I could pick probably 10 more, but these are the 3 that I go to if I'm listening to Bad Company. So that's it for me.
All right. So for me, I like Bad Company. I got the 10 from 6 as well. A greatest hits type of guy. But then in the late 80s, I think it was.
Yep. I know what you're going to say.
They came out with 2 great songs.
New lead singer. Yeah.
One of them was called Holy Water.
Great song.
And the second song was No Smoke Without a Fire.
Fantastic.
I'm going to go with No Smoke Without a Fire. I fucking love that song.
It's awesome.
It came out on, I think, Dangerous Age, 1988.
Yep, I remember that.
Great tune. It was like
I remember when that
revival.
Yeah, I remember when that came out, people like, oh shit, Bad Company's back, new singer, great song.
It was like a heavy riff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. It's great.
All right. So No Smoke Without a Fire. That's one. Now, I'm going classic Bad Company.
Yep.
And number 2 for me is just like you. You got to take Bad Company.
Incredible. Absolutely.
Great fucking tune.
Yep.
And then I'll never forget this time, Tom.
Uh-oh.
We're in college. We were making mixes all the time.
Okay.
And I wanted to make a mix. I'm like, I'm going to try to make a mix of drinking songs. And I had this Bad Company song playing, and I wanted to put this on. You're like, I ain't going to be drinking to this shit. Something you made a comment. You didn't like it.
And that probably
favorite.
sounded just like that too.
Yeah, exactly. It was angry Tom walking by telling me he ain't drinking to this mix.
What was it?
And that is my favorite Bad Company song. Here come the jesters, Tom.
Oh,
2, 3. It's
dude,
part of my fantasy.
I can't
love that song.
For the longest time, that was my favorite Bad Company song, and I was almost I was almost ashamed that it didn't make my top 3 because it's still a great song.
You were shitting on me for having that.
Yeah, I was
salty Tom in college at that time.
I was an impressionable, angry teen back then.
Love that song. It's so catchy,
dude. When I was in college, the only classic rock I listened to was Kiss, Rush.
I don't think you listened to a lot of that stuff. Like
I didn't.
I remember you listened to the Doors, CCR, shit like that. Stones.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I was listening to Big Daddy Kane and Nice and Nice.
I work. I get the job done.
And then I put on Nice and Smooth.
Playing some Onyx and shit. What was their album? Thugonomics? Who was that?
No, Onyx. Their debut album was called Back the Fuck Up.
Who did Thugonomics? Who was that?
We'll save that for our we'll have Jeff back on for another 90s.
We'll make it
episode.
80s this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
That's right. Oh. I get the job done. Anyway, those are my Bad Company. I also probably would have thought about Holy Water. Can't Get Enough is another one.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Tons of them.
Yeah. Running with the Pack.
Yep.
Everyone loves Feel Like Making Love. And I'm sorry. I remember kids all like, oh, Shooting Star. Ooh.
Overplayed.
Oh,
it's
my God.
Just
it's
terribly
just another
overplayed.
One. Yeah. Just fucking yikes. Anyways, Tom, let's move on.
Okay.
You want to go Aerosmith or ACDC? Which one?
Let's go Aerosmith.
Okay.
This was really, really difficult because I love 70s Aerosmith. There's a little bit of very, very early 80s Aerosmith that I can tolerate when they kind of went through that weird period. But for me, for number 3, I Cliche, probably the most popular song, if not one of the most popular songs, but I never get sick of it. The riff, the groove. I'm going Sweet Emotion at number 3.
The original.
Yes.
Not not the greatest hits where they cut off the dubbing of that beginning talk box.
Yes. Yep.
That shit is awesome.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree. And then off of what is my favorite Aerosmith album, Rocks, which I could have picked this whole album, but I am going with Sick as a Dog because Joe Perry's riffage on that album is fucking fantastic, especially when there's that little breakdown where it's just him and the drums. Oh, it's so good. And then, I'm going to have another oddball pick here. The album is terrible. The video is super coked out Steven Tyler 80s, but the song absolutely rips. I think it's got an incredible vibe, the drums, the guitar, and I'm going with Lightning Strikes at number 1.
Fucking incredible fucking song.
It's incredible. It's one of the best rock songs of the 80s.
Joe Perry.
I know. Yeah.
The video is hilarious.
It's awesome.
It's Steven Tyler's a gangbanger.
It's so bad.
Weighing a soaking 70 pounds.
And that album is terrible. It's off Rockin' a Hard Place with one of the weird non-Joe Perry albums, but that song absolutely crushes.
I don't know if there's anybody's ever done any bad songs with lightning striking or anything like that. Even Ozzy, even fucking Tommy Thayers.
Dawkins.
Everything with lightning is always a good song.
That's true. That's a good reference. Tommy Thayer. We'll say that, but yeah. But lightning strikes. Oh my God. It's funny because I've never. My sister had the cassette.
Yeah.
But I never owned this album because the rest of the album sucks.
Yeah.
I've
had every Aerosmith album. I had them since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So with Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I can't even pick because the top 3 songs are always my top 3 songs. And it sucks because the 4th song is right there.
Okay.
So number 1 is definitely Dream On. You can't go anywhere without it. And when they made that as the theme to the movie Miracle.
Oh God. Yeah.
And they show the song Dream On and the clips and the movie preview of, the USA team playing Russia. Because all those guys are a lot of those guys were Boston guys. So we know the characters, I know the story behind it.
Yeah.
And they're playing Dream On. Oh my God. It's one of my favorite fucking trailers of all time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay, so Dream On is definitely, you can't mistake how fucking incredible it is.
Yep.
And, the next one is, from the same album. They're both on the same album, the next 2.
Okay.
And they're 2 of my favorites. Number 2 is Draw the Line.
Oh yeah.
When he hits those high notes.
Oh my God.
On the 3rd verse coming back around.
Insane. It's crazy.
When they draw the line. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yep.
And by the way, you got to hear the album version, not the greatest hits version. And then that part beginning. Yep. And it comes back around.
It's
whatever the fuck he's saying.
It's funny. It's funny how you keep clarifying the album version because I'm the exact same way. Even though I listen to a lot of streaming.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm listening to these songs, I don't go off a compilation or a great. I go
to radio edit.
No, I go to the studio album version of all these songs. Yeah.
Yes. And the other one off that, the original, the long form version, Kings and Queens is my favorite, probably Aerosmith song of all time.
This easily could have been my top 3. These are all fucking amazing. Yeah, agreed.
And fucking incredible. The imagery, the themes, the vocals, the guitar.
So good.
And what's amazing is so Draw the Line is when people started saying that's when the cocaine and the drugs really started taking over.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the albums didn't get as deep as Rocks and Toys in the Attic and all that stuff. Draw the Line is where they kind of switch. But now for Aerosmith, as far as other songs, you got Mummakin. I also would have probably put Lightning Strikes. But the other classic one, okay, and that was off Live Bootleg, was the studio version of Chip Away at the Stone.
Unbelievable song, dude.
One of the fucking
so good
greatest riffs.
Yep.
Guitar crunch.
Yep.
Fucking incredible. So that's the 4th that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
How can I keep Chip Away at the Stone off?
Yeah.
But those 3 are fucking incredible. Then you get into the other stuff, which you do not like. But I like some of the 80s and 90s shit that they came up with. I liked Amazing. I fucking love that song.
Yuck.
Oh, the video, incredible. She needs.
Well, yeah, the video is great. Just put it on mute.
I like the 2 songs off of 9 Lives. One of them is Pink. That video is awesome.
Okay.
And the other one is Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. That song is so fucking catchy.
You know what song I fucking love? And it was on the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack. Remember Deuces Are Wild?
Deuces Are Wild's a great
awesome song.
Well, and then in Love is Hard on the Knees.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And then for me, it's a lot, like I said, a lot of the 70s stuff, like pretty much Toys in the Attic. I mean, No More. And then even like some of the deeper cuts, like Adam's Apple, Uncle Salty, and then some of the like Seasons of Wither off some of that.
Seasons of Wither is great. Somebody off the debut.
Yeah.
The other thing I bought recently was the 1971 The Road Starts Here. And that is like their version of Off the Soundboard. And it's
that just came out.
Like Dream On and shit.
Yes.
So it's their way of doing Off the Soundboard.
Yeah.
It is an incredible album.
Yeah.
They sound very Zeppish in their fucking, this is from
wicked.
71.
Wicked.
Very Zeppelinish.
Yep.
It's a great fucking live album. It's got about 8 songs on it. And Mummakin is the other one that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyways, that's Aerosmith. Tom, let's end out with ACDC, but Bon Scott ACDC.
Yeah. So I think this is the one where there's like kind of like the only self-imposed kind of rule here is that we're going to stick with Bon Scott here.
Yeah.
And this was, again, so difficult. I mean, my number one was kind of easy. My number two was kind of easy. And then after that, I could have had about fucking 10 songs. But number three for me, I'm going to go with the song for the big girls. Whole lot of Rosie. Oh, just the energy that Bon Scott brought to the ballsy, like the swagger, like the fucking cock rock. It's so, I mean, I like Brian Johnson, ACDC, but let's be serious, it's a completely different band, which is fine. But the stuff that he does with Angus, the way that they just groove together on this, insane. And then probably my second favorite ACDC song of all time is I'm going with Problem Child. I just
Really?
I can't get enough of his vocals, the swagger, and what Angus is doing. And then my number one favorite song by AC/DC comes off of Highway to Hell, and that is Shot Down in Flames.
Really?
Oh my God. I just something about this. It's like groove rock. It's different. It's not like foot stomping, head pounding rock. It's just like, I don't know. I keep using the same word, but it's just like that bluesy, like swagger, and his vocals and the way the band just glides along with Angus and everybody's fucking fantastic.
All right. So for me, AC/DC, I'm going with the first version.
Okay.
And it's actually off their first album in Australia, but it's so weird following AC/DC albums. The Australian albums didn't become the American albums till later on, some of the songs. So you got half songs on other albums, half of it on Australians' versions of these albums. So I'm not even going to really say the albums, I'm just going to say the song, because off of TNT Australia, the first song is It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll.
Okay.
So it eventually becomes off the debut, which is High Voltage in 76, but it was on 75.
Well, it's kind of the same.
TNT.
It's kind of the same thing that happened with Problem Child. Problem Child was on two different albums, but only on certain versions, because some of these early albums were released in Australia. Then when they were released in the U.S., it's weird.
That solo between the bagpipes and the guitar.
Oh yeah.
It is so incredibly
it's awesome.
Fucking catchy.
Yep. It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God. And the video for them, you ever see the two videos? They're on a fucking like trailer in 1975.
Yeah.
And they barely show Angus because he's not even a big star then.
Yep.
And he's just so cool. He's got a fucking tat and he's showing off and he's playing the bagpipes. The song fucking rips.
Yep.
Number two for me is Highway to Hell. You just can't escape the riff in the song.
Agreed. Yep.
And it's
Agreed.
just the epitome of coolness that there's Stairway to Heaven and they write Highway to Hell. That tongue-in-cheek fucking Bon Scott laugh. Like, you know what I mean? He's just
so good.
Like, he's such a character. He's a hooligan. Right?
Literally. Yeah, exactly. He really is.
And it just works.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to take this next song, but you have no idea how hard it was to keep If You Want Blood off.
Me too.
That song rips.
If You Want Blood and Girls Got Rhythm were the two songs that were so hard for me to keep off this list. I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I didn't put Dirty Deeds. I had Problem Child as a potential. TNT as a potential. But my favorite AC/DC song maybe of all time.
Yep.
And one of my favorite songs of all time. And that is Jailbreak.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Holy fucking shit.
Yep.
If I was alive when they played that live and the chorus and the crowd screaming Jailbreak, it has everything you want. It is the epitome of Bon Scott's character. The way he talks the lyrics and like sleazy kind of like describing himself. And then
awesome.
Pull it in his back. The rhythm, the guitar, the video is fucking awesome. Find that video, guys, and watch it. Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Regardless, AC/DC Bon Scott era is just incredible fucking time of hard rock riffs.
Yep.
Vocals. Incredible.
It's so funny, and I didn't even really appreciate that era until I got older. Because younger, I knew "Highway to Hell" because you couldn't avoid the song, and then he dies, and then Back in Black takes over the universe, and then it was just so going. I remember hearing like "Dirty Deeds" on the radio, and I remember when I was younger hearing "Big Balls" and being like,
yeah. I mean,
he wrote a song about big balls,
that was the Bon Scott. That's what he brought. "Dirty Deeds," Big Balls. We all giggle and we all love that shit.
Yeah,
I know. And then eventually what you get is the greatest album they've ever done. And it is Back in Black.
Yep.
And then from there, what I felt was they would release albums with 2-3 singles. They release the singles and that's it.
Yep.
There wouldn't be albums oriented.
Exactly. That's right.
And it's more macho, tough rock with, what's his name? Brian Johnson. Like fucking blue collar, hard rock. Not that sleazy, awesome, like, kind of joyous, fun kind of stuff.
Exactly. Fun. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah. Fun. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if there's any more fun music really than AC/DC.
With Bon Scott. It's fucking awesome. It's party. It's fucking drinking hooligan rock.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Tom, if you have to rank AC/DC, Aerosmith, Bad Company from those 3 songs, how would you rank these?
Okay. So out of these 3, at number 3 for me, it's going to be Aerosmith.
Really?
Number 2 for me, it's going to be Bad Company, and number 1, Bon Scott, AC/DC, number 1 easily.
Wow.
And I love Bad Company, but Bon Scott, AC/DC is one of the all-time.
No. My wow is you have Bad Company over Aerosmith.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Over 70s Aerosmith. Wow.
Oh yeah, I love Bad Company. Yep.
So. For me, it's easy. Bad Company is 3. Not that I don't like them. It's just, they're just easy number 3.
Okay.
I don't know where to go with this.
Yeah, I know.
Because
this is tough
I think
for you.
Immediately Aerosmith, I go those 3 songs.
Right.
Immediately AC/DC, I go those 3 songs.
Yep.
Dream On against It's a Long Way to the Top. I'll take Dream On. Draw the Line versus Highway to Hell.
Oof.
I'd take Highway to Hell. Then you get Jailbreak versus Kings and Queens. I got to take Jailbreak. So I'm going Aerosmith is 2 and AC/DC is 1.
There you go. We both got AC/DC number 1.
That I did that. But if I went to 5 songs or 10 songs, Aerosmith would blow both of them out of the water.
I agree. We have these arguments all the time, so, and you see these sometimes on Twitter. If you follow these pages, it's like, the top 5 songs of AC/DC versus the top 5 songs of, Kiss or whatever. Yeah. And you're right. The longer the list, it's going to change because some bands are so top heavy with greatness.
We did the Doors, CCR, and the Stones from the 60s.
Right.
We talked about it. If we pick the Stones' 50th song, who the fuck is comparing the best 50th song from the Stones? Who's got that catalog? For me, only maybe the Eagles for me and
Zeppelin.
Kiss.
And Zeppelin. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it. Everybody else, nobody's fucking competing with that shit. Has that many good songs?
Right.
No.
Right.
No way. And same thing here. But Aerosmith, after the first 5 or 6 on AC/DC Bon Scott, I like the songs, but they're not like, I don't know where to go. There's so many more.
Yeah.
Like after the top 5. Yeah. After the top 5 in Aerosmith, I can still pick I don't know if I should put song 8 in the top 5.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's going to be
wouldn't make it after 3.
Oh, I could get 10 out of Bad Company.
Oh, I know you can. Yeah. You really like them.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be interesting next time whenever we get around to it. When we get next is the 80s part.
Yeah,
1.
I don't know which bands we could take because the 80s, you get into pop, you get into rock, you get into heavy metal, you get into glam metal.
Yeah, I will do. I'm thinking we'll throw maybe Wang Chung, Men at Work, and fucking Human League in there. We'll do that.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. Till next time. Peace out, Girl Scout.